Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I'm super excited for this video because I was just in the mood to film and I thought, hey, why not just go ahead and quickly do a little makeup playtime and try out a new indie brand. So I got a package sent over to me from Tracy's Powder Room with some really beautiful eyeshadows. They are a very small indie brand based in Texas and I'm super excited to try their products because I feel like I've heard good things from a few of my friends on Instagram who love indie makeup as well, so I'm really grateful that they sent me these. So I thought we could go ahead and do some swatches and then an eye look trying these out. And then because those are all shimmers, I thought we could also try out the Nomad Cosmetics Malibu quad, which has some really beautiful slightly green grungy mattes in here. I thought it could be a fun mixture. So if you are new to my channel, before we jump in, I just want to say welcome, hello. I'm so happy you're here, and also I'm happy if you are returning. That means that you watch my videos and you still wanted to come back. So either way, thank you so much for being here. I did want to say that if you are new to my channel, my name is Amy. I love talking about indie makeup. I love talking about indie makeup brands like Tracy's Powder Room, which is maybe a brand you haven't heard of before. I love getting to introduce you to new brands, new products, and also help you be an informed consumer on deciding whether those products are worth your money or not. So if that sounds like content you would be interested in, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now let's go ahead and jump right on in and do some swatches. These look so beautiful. There is also a multi-chrome here. I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't tell. Okay, now you can see. You see the multi-chrome? So excited to try their multi-chrome formula. This first shade here is called Blushed Gold and it has a little flower imprint. This looks like such a pretty rose gold with like a golden shift to it. It does feel to be pretty soft, a little bit more on the satin side. I'm not sure if this one is supposed to be a blush. I don't know why I think that. I feel like that could be pretty as a blush or an eyeshadow. Next we have this beautiful orange called Don't Be Coy. This looks like such a pretty shade for fall. It is pressed a little bit harder. It's not as soft, still powdery at the same time. It doesn't feel like a super creamy formula, but there's a good amount of pigment and it looks to be a really beautiful shade. It does feel like a little bit drier to the touch, but not in a bad way necessarily. Just not as creamy as some of the shadows I'm used to using, but either way it still looks to swatch beautifully, and I think that would be so pretty all over the lid with like the Dose of Color Sassy Sienna's palette or something. That would be nice. Okay, next we have the multi-chrome, which is called Nova. Ooh, okay, that's super pigmented and very metallic. That looks really nice and intense. That's really beautiful, and the shift from like green to orange to pink is very strong, even though it's more of like a burgundy-esque pink. Next we have Aqua Dream. Again, touching the shadow, it doesn't feel super creamy, but there's still a good amount of pigmentation coming off. So there's what that one looks like. Such a pretty blue. Next we have Lost Lavender. This one looks really stunning. I don't know if I'm going to use it today, but it was definitely one that I was the most excited about just because I've been so into cool tones and I love kind of like a lavender gray kind of moment. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, next this shade is called Monroe and it reminds me of Natasha Denona Lime Chrome, just the shade. I love colors like this. It has a bit of like green and gold going on with like a little bit more of like a pinky base to it. Ooh, okay, that one's a bit softer, a little bit more powdery. I don't know if you can see the powderiness a little bit there. Look at that color though. Super pretty. And then lastly, we have this green right here, which is called Dublin. Super cute. Those little four-leaf clover. I'm Irish, so I just have to love this shade, right? So there's what that one looks like. That one's definitely a lot more of a satin. So overall, I do think these look really pretty. The shades look really nice. I think my constructive criticism just from feeling them and comparing them to like other shadows I really love, they do feel a little bit more on the dry side, and I just love a good super creamy metallic. But maybe if you do have more oily lids, these might last longer on you. That's always a possibility. So I'm very excited to try them on the eyes because that matters more than swatches. But swatching so far, they look pigmented. Texture is just a tidbit dry. Okay, so I already went ahead and primed my eyes with the Crow and Pebble eyeshadow primer in the shade Parchment. So let's start off with some mattes. I think I'm going to use this shade first, which is called Bungalow. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that through my entire crease to start off with as my transition shade. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is called Hideout, and I'm going to pop that right into my crease. Ooh, that's a pretty tone. I feel like that's such a cool color, and it's blending right away super easily. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the deepest shade in the palette right here, which is called Shack, and I'm going to pop that on my outer V. This is actually such a cute little interesting color combo. And then just blending that out with my big fluffy brush. Okay, so before I finish up with this quad, I think I actually am going to go ahead and take a little bit of the shimmer right here called Cabana. And I'm just going to use that to highlight underneath my brow bone, because I'm curious. Ooh. Strong MAC Nylon vibes. Okay, so now jumping into these shimmers, I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade Dublin. And I'm going to pop that along my lower lash line, probably in like the outer half, I would say. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to take that along my entire lower lash line, because it's really pretty. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Aqua Dreams, I think is what it was called, for my lid. And let's see, I'm going to start off by just trying with my finger, just seeing how I like it. I mean, okay, that's actually super pretty. Like, I kind of like the contrast of the grungy greens with this bright aqua shade. Just gonna go ahead and pop that on my lid. Not being too careful, just kind of throwing it on and blending it out lightly with my finger. Honestly, I think even if I'd done like the super grungy greens on the lower lash line and then just did this color story with this on the lid, that would have been even prettier. Now that I'm looking at it and the contrast, I'm like loving the idea of it. Okay, so I kind of got that blended in, nothing super crazy. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and take my blending brush and just go through the crease really lightly just to keep it all together. And then lastly, you know I can't help myself, I'm going to take this shade right here, which I think was like something low, Moon Low, and I'm going to pop that on my inner corner. I'm tapping my brush off for that shade because it is a little bit more powdery. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on the inner corner. Ooh, that's so pretty. Like I said, I just love shades like this, and I don't know if you can tell, it actually does have a little bit of sparkle to it. It's not just a straight up satin, so I really like the finish of this one. Again, I'm just going to grab my fluffy blending brush and just lightly kind of go over the inner crease area right here, so there's nothing too harsh. I think that looks really, really pretty. Really quickly off camera, I'm going to throw on some liner in my waterline, some mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so really quickly to finish up this look, I thought I could go ahead and take the shade Cabana from that Nomad palette and use it as my highlighter today. Just going to go ahead and pop that on the tops of my cheekbones. Okay, that's actually super pretty. Like the perfect shade for my skin tone, and also very smooth on the skin. It just has like a really nice satiny finish. Slightly shook. Okay, and then for lips, I pulled out a lip gloss I have from Fair Beauty Cosmetics. This is the shade Zura. Alright, so this is the finished look, and I do really love how it turned out. I feel like the lid, like just the shades are giving me life, and I kind of wish I'd gone a little bit of a different direction on the lower lash line and brought those grungy greens all around and really gave that aqua like its total pop moment. But either way, I feel like this palette is actually super nice and cute, and it's a very interesting little color story. This highlight shade in here is super nice. I mean, whether you're using it underneath the brow bone or on the skin, if you do have more of a fair skin tone, I thought that was super flattering, and the matte shades in here are just so pretty and interesting. Just these two grungy greens are really giving me life, and just the quad packaging in general is super, super cute. And then as far as Tracy's powder room goes, I mean, I feel like I had a pretty good, easy experience using these nice today. I know I just used a few of the shimmers and I need to play with them more, but I feel like that aqua shade is super pigmented. It looks really pretty on the lid. It has a really nice brightness to it. For me and my personal preference, I would probably typically go for something a little bit more sparkly, a little bit more intense. That's what I go for. So I think this shade right here is actually probably going to be my favorite of the bunch, and then I'm excited to try the multi-chrome all over the lid and just compare it to other multi-chrome formulas that I've tried, but you know, that's future. This is obviously just a first impression, just a little playtime. I'm excited about it. I think that they do have some highlighters, so I might have to pick one of those up just because I love highlighters, not because I really need any more highlighters. So I would love to know if you tried Tracy's Powder Room, or if this is your first time hearing of them today. I kind of love the name. The owner's name is Tracy, and I don't know about anyone else, but I've never known a Tracy in my life. The only thing that comes to mind is the entire Hairspray soundtrack, which I really want to sing right now, but I'm not gonna. Anyways, that is everything for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.